name's Andrew Beck, and I'm a photographic artist based in Wellington. My relationship to photography is a sort of confused relationship because I don't use it as a representational technology. So I kind of see photography as a thing that can give us a version of what we see, but not something that we can trust. My work is something that is trying to sort of unpack that and act as a sort of tool to understand our relationship to images. A photogram is a use of analog photography in a way that it sort of wasn't originally meant for. So it's a taking a sheet of photographic paper and placing an object onto that photographic paper and capturing the impression of the shadow of that object in reverse. I see the photograms that I'm making for this project as purely a source material. So the object becomes so obscure through the many layers and augmentations that it goes through that it's so far removed from what it originally was that that thing sort of dissolves. And all we're really looking at is the shadows and the distortions of something. And so the artwork is made from a series of shadows and light effects that are sort of laced together both digitally and through analog processes to create something that is recognizable as maybe something we could see in real life, but it doesn't really have any original origin. So this project is a installation that incorporates photographic techniques, but it also sort of has a touch point to sculpture as well, with the use of acrylic sheets, clear acrylic sheets. I used them because I was interested in their relationships to light and also how they have a tendency to distort images. So the title of the exhibition is Soft Filter, and that sort of pertains to this idea of like placing a filter over an image or a situation that then distorts that image. And I'm using a material that is two-dimensional in its quality, but it also has a presence in the gallery, so it sort of runs the line between sculpture and photography, and that's a sort of a physical quality that I'm interested in because I'm thinking about the two-dimensional and three-dimensional at the same time. This is a test print for one of the components in the exhibition. So what I do in my studio is I tend to make small versions of things and try to imagine what that would be like in the gallery space. So what I've done here is I've created this photographic print that then correlates to a wall painting that I've done, and when the two combine, they sort of fuse together and start to blur the image and the real together. Tauranga Art Gallery has a very specific architecture, and that lends itself to a sort of style of orientation around the work. People experience it from various vantage points, and it has a sort of monolithic quality, but then it also, the work that I'm making is going to try and have like the macro and the micro and combine the two things so that people have an experience of seeing small partial views as well as a larger sort of overall view. And the pieces of acrylic that, along with the prints, act as little windows into areas of the work, and that all combines to make a larger sort of image. My sort of aesthetics come from like a really sort of broad mixture of things, but I, even though the work for the Tauranga Art Gallery is very minimal, I guess, there's like certain scenes and movies. So obviously the Matrix, where Neo puts his finger into the mirror, which has been referencing Orpheus, which is a Jean Cocteau film, where he puts his hand through the mirror, and there's something about that sort of, I guess, interface between the person and their representation, that I'm kind of riffing off with these, which is, the wall painting is something that's physical, whereas the print, you could say, or the photographic print is something that is representational. And it's sort of talking about the sort of mixture between those two things.